Every year, riders waste thousands on new bikes that barely make it past 50,000 miles. Meanwhile, a handful of machines are quietly hitting 200,000 without breaking a sweat. These are the bikes you can buy for dirt cheap and will last forever. Watch to the end and find out which killer bike you can get for under $1,000. Number 7. Kawasaki KLR 650. There are motorcycles built for weekends, and then there are machines built for war zones, desert crossings, and 500-mile days without complaint. The KLR is the latter. It runs on a liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine, displacing 651 cubic centimeters, and delivers approximately 39 horsepower and 43 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed by a single disc in the front and another in the rear, while suspension duties are handled by long-travel telescopic forks up front and a uni-track rear shock, both offering more than 8 inches of travel. Dry weight comes in at 430 pounds, with a seat height of 35 inches. Fuel capacity is an impressive 6.1 gallons, and the starting price for used models typically ranges from $1,500 to $3,000 depending on condition and year. This motorcycle has earned a cult following for one reason: it simply refuses to quit. First introduced in the late 1980s, it quickly became a go-to platform for riders who needed a dual sport that could cross international borders and survive the journey. It is not fast, it is not sleek, and it is certainly not high-tech. But in the places where bikes are expected to haul gear, ride through sand, and bounce off rocks without hesitation, this machine shines. It has long been a favorite among military personnel, humanitarian workers, and hardcore adventurers who value mechanical honesty over flash. One mechanical quirk riders often talk about is the bouncer chain tensioner, also known as the doohickey. It is the only weak point in an otherwise overbuilt power plant. Fortunately, upgrading it is a simple and affordable job, and once it is done, the KLR becomes one of the most durable motorcycles on the planet. Reports of these machines running for 150,000 miles or more with little more than routine oil changes and valve checks are not uncommon. Chain maintenance is easy, parts are widely available, and the design has remained consistent enough for aftermarket support to stay strong. What truly sets this bike apart is its purpose-driven design. The 5.8-gallon tank allows for over 200 miles of range, and the upright riding posture makes long days feel manageable. Riders routinely load these up with camping gear, tools, spare fuel, and then disappear into the mountains or across state lines without a second thought. It is not uncommon to see one covered in trail dust and road grime, with nothing more than a sleeping bag strapped to the rear rack and a sticker collection telling the story of everywhere it has been. While other bikes in this category have chased modernity with electronic rider aids and complicated maintenance schedules, this one has remained proudly analog. No ride modes, no touchscreens, just a key, a throttle, and a willingness to take you wherever the road or trail leads. It might not win awards for style or performance, but it has earned a far more valuable distinction: trust. For riders who care less about polishing chrome and more about pushing boundaries, this motorcycle is more than enough. And if you would rather ride something with low-maintenance cruising power and timeless design, the next machine on this list has been keeping it simple and running strong for decades. What are you riding and where do you take it? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to check it out. And if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Number 6. Honda Shadow 750. Some motorcycles are built to turn heads. Others are built to last a lifetime. The Shadow falls firmly into the second category. Beneath its classic cruiser lines is a liquid-cooled V-twin engine displacing 745 cubic centimeters, producing approximately 44 horsepower and 47 pound-feet of torque. It uses a 5-speed transmission paired with a shaft final drive, meaning no messy chains to clean or adjust. Braking is handled by a single disc up front and a rear drum, while suspension comes courtesy of conventional front forks with over 4 inches of travel and dual rear shocks with preload adjustability. Dry weight sits at 505 pounds with a seat height of just 25.7 inches. Fuel capacity is 3.7 gallons, and most riders report fuel economy above 50 miles per gallon. Used prices typically fall between $2,000 and $3,500 depending on mileage and year. What sets this machine apart isn't its spec sheet. It's the real-world experience of thousands of owners who have ridden it for years without a single major failure. The shaft drive system alone is a major reason why riders over 50 gravitate toward it. Without chains to lubricate or sprockets to replace, the entire drivetrain becomes a worry-free zone. It is the kind of bike you gas up, start, and ride day after day, mile after mile, with no surprises. The Shadow is also one of the most accessible mid-size cruisers available. With its low seat height, it allows riders riders of all sizes to flat-footed stops. The handlebars are comfortably swept back, the foot pegs are well positioned, and the engine delivers a steady, low-end rumble that feels stronger than the spec sheet suggests. And because it is not overpowered, it does not stress its components the way higher performance cruisers often do. That means longer life, fewer repairs, and a more relaxed ownership experience overall. Maintenance on the Shadow is straightforward. Oil changes are quick, valve checks are widely spaced, and parts are inexpensive. The bike's design has remained largely unchanged for over a decade, which means the aftermarket is strong and parts availability is rarely an issue. Whether you need a new mirror, a seat, or a carburetor rebuild kit, you will find it, and usually at a reasonable price. Many owners report passing 200,000 miles on these bikes with nothing more than regular oil changes, spark plugs, and basic upkeep. But more than that, the Shadow represents a kind of riding experience that is becoming rare, simple, honest, and low effort. It does not demand attention or upgrades. It does not beg for customization or make you feel like something is missing. It is content in its own skin, and it lets you focus on what really matters: riding. Whether you're cruising back roads on a Sunday afternoon or commuting to work during the week, this machine performs with the same easygoing confidence it had on day one. But if you think a laid-back cruiser like this is reliable, wait until you see what happens when we take that same bulletproof attitude off-road and into the wild. The next bike on this list is proof that you do not need electronics or fairings to build something truly indestructible. Want better gear without the big price tags? The stuff we trust is in the description. Go see what fits your ride. Number 5, Suzuki DR 650. There are motorcycles designed to impress in a showroom, and then there are motorcycles like the DR 650, machines that impress after 50,000 miles of dirt, grit, and rain. This is a bike built for people who ride because they need to, not because they want to be seen. Powering the DR is a 4-stroke, air-cooled, single-cylinder engine displacing 644 cubic centimeters, delivering approximately 43 horsepower and 38 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed by a single disc in the front and one in the rear, while suspension includes a traditional telescopic fork up front and a link-type rear shock offering 10.2 inches and 10.4 inches of travel, respectively. Dry weight is just 366 pounds, seat height measures 34.8 inches, and the starting price for clean used examples usually ranges from $3,000 to $4,500. At first glance, the DR looks almost too plain to be impressive, but once you ride one through a rough trail or across a state line without a hiccup, the simplicity makes perfect sense. There are no fragile electronics, no ride modes to toggle through, and no complex sensors waiting to fail. What you get instead is a strong steel frame, a dependable air-cooled motor, and the kind of riding posture that keeps your back happy even when the trail does not. This machine thrives where others hesitate. Riders use it for everything from weekend single-track riding to multi-state touring on a tight budget. And while many adventure bikes are pushing over 600 pounds and loaded with gadgets, the DR keeps things light, basic, and rugged. You can drop it, lift it, wrench on it with hand tools, and get back on the trail in under an hour. It does not care if you have a clean garage or a roadside toolkit, it just wants to keep moving. What makes the DR a true legend among dual sport riders is how little it demands in return. With no radiator to crack, no fuel pump to fail, and no complicated electronics to debug, this motorcycle eliminates many of the failure points that strand modern bikes on the side of the road. The kickstand safety switch and decompression system are among the few concessions to modern usability, but even those can be bypassed or maintained with ease. Routine oil changes, basic chain care, and valve checks are all it needs to keep rolling for well beyond 150,000 miles. Its size and performance sit in a sweet spot. It is powerful enough to ride highways without stress, but still light enough to carve through forest trails. And because of its long production run, replacement parts are readily available. Whether you need a new lever, an upgraded carburetor, or a high-capacity fuel tank, the aftermarket has you covered. Riders around the world customize their DRs with saddlebags, bark busters, skid plates, and more. Not because they have to, but because the platform is that capable. If you are the kind of rider who values raw dependability over digital flair, the DR delivers. But maybe you're looking for something with more balance, something that blends reliability with speed, refinement, and fun. The next bike on this list has all that, plus a reputation that even mechanics respect. Number 4, Yamaha FZ6. Some motorcycles were never meant to be center stage. They do not show off at bike nights or dominate racing circuits. Instead, they quietly clock 100,000 miles while demanding almost nothing in return. The FZ6 is that kind of machine. It is powered by a liquid-cooled inline four-cylinder engine displacing 598 cubic centimeters, producing approximately 98 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by dual front disc brakes and a single rear disc, while suspension consists of conventional telescopic forks in the front and a preload adjustable monoshock in the rear. Wet weight comes in at 475 pounds, seat height is approximately 31 inches, and used pricing typically ranges from $2,800 to $4,000 depending on condition and model year. At its heart, this motorcycle shares DNA with the high-revving R6 sport bike, but Yamaha tuned it for comfort, durability, and everyday performance. What emerged was one of the most underappreciated sport touring bikes of its time, capable of commuting during the week and stretching its legs on twisty back roads come Sunday. The engine is smooth and responsive, with enough top-end power to satisfy spirited riders. Yet it delivers torque low enough in the rev range to make daily riding comfortable and forgiving. What makes the FZ6 stand out is not just its performance, it is its mechanical resilience. Owners regularly report clocking 200,000 miles or more without needing major engine repairs. The secret lies in the over-engineered inline-four power plant and the 6-speed transmission that keeps highway cruising calm and efficient. Valve checks are spaced generously, oil changes are straightforward, and the overall layout of the bike makes home maintenance simple for anyone with a basic toolkit. Unlike many modern sport bikes, the FZ6 is not cramped or twitchy. The seating position is upright with a slight forward lean, offering a good balance between wind protection and rider control. The wide handlebars make low-speed maneuvering easy, and the overall geometry allows the motorcycle to remain stable at high speeds without feeling sluggish in corners. For riders who want one motorcycle that can do it all, from touring to weekend rides to light track use, the FZ6 is a sleeper hit. Another major benefit is its affordability, not just at the point of purchase, but over the life of ownership. Replacement parts are widely available, and because the bike remained in production for several years with minimal changes, compatibility across model years is strong. There is also a robust aftermarket community with support for everything from custom luggage racks and windshields to suspension upgrades and lighting kits. It is a platform that invites long-term ownership, not constant replacement. For riders who are tired of gimmicks and want something that just works and keeps working, the FZ6 is a smart buy. It will not turn heads like a sport bike or offer the chrome shine of a cruiser, but it might outlive both. And if you are looking for simplicity, economy, and mechanical honesty wrapped in a more compact package, the next bike on this list has been doing exactly that in countries all over the world. Number 3, Suzuki SV650. Some motorcycles earn their reputation over decades. Others do it in just a few thousand miles. But the SV650 has managed something rare. It has done both. This machine has become one of the most beloved, trusted, and flat-out durable motorcycles in the world. Power comes from a liquid-cooled, 4-stroke, 90-degree V-twin engine displacing 645 cubic centimeters, delivering approximately 75 horsepower and 47 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by dual front disc brakes and a single disc in the rear, while suspension includes a telescopic fork up front and a link-type rear shock. Curb weight lands at around 435 pounds, seat height is 31 inches, and used prices typically range from $3,000 to $4,000 depending on year and condition. What makes the SV such a standout is its balance. It is sporty but not aggressive, fast but not overwhelming, and durable without being dull. Riders across all experience levels, from new learners to seasoned veterans, praise it for its predictable throttle response, low-maintenance engine, and all-day riding comfort. But it is not just about feel. This bike is known for its longevity, with many owners reporting well over 100,000 miles on original engines and drivetrains. The SV650 is also one of the most forgiving motorcycles on the road. That is not to say it is soft. It has plenty of punch when you open it up, but it is tuned in a way that rewards skill without punishing mistakes. The power delivery is smooth, the gearing is well spaced, and the chassis offers feedback that gives riders confidence in corners. Whether you are riding through city traffic or carving through country roads, the SV adapts to your style and gets the job done without hesitation. Mechanics love this bike because it rarely comes in for anything other than routine service. Valve checks are generously spaced, oil changes are simple, and the V-twin layout keeps the engine compact and accessible. The frame, a steel trellis design, offers both durability and character. And thanks to a long production run and massive popularity, parts availability is strong whether you're buying new or pulling from salvage. Everything from mirrors to fuel tanks to full engine rebuild kits is easy to find and surprisingly affordable. One of the most impressive things about the SV650 is how much abuse it can take and still keep running. These bikes are regularly used for track days, commuting, light touring, and even as daily riders through rain and snow. The clutch is known to last well past 70,000 miles. The cooling system, fuel system, and suspension components are all proven over time. It is a motorcycle that demands very little from its rider and gives back more than expected at every turn. Despite its widespread appeal, the SV never tried to be everything to everyone. It did not come with expensive electronics, flashy paint, or a bloated sticker price. It just showed up with reliable engineering, a rock-solid motor, and a riding experience that never gets old. For older riders looking for something they can trust, without the hassle of dealer service plans or complex diagnostics, this machine is the perfect blend of modern performance and mechanical honesty. But if you are looking for something that still keeps things simple, yet adds just enough off-road edge to conquer more than pavement, the next motorcycle takes that rugged practicality one step further, into the dirt, the hills, and the backcountry. Number 2, Yamaha XT225/XT250. Not every motorcycle is built for smooth pavement and Sunday cruises. Some are built to handle mud, gravel, steep climbs, river crossings, and potholes the size of kitchen sinks. That is exactly what makes the XT225 and XT250 legendary. These dual sport machines are powered by air-cooled single-cylinder engines, either 223 or 249 cubic centimeters depending on the model year, producing approximately 19 horsepower and 15 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed by a single disc in the front and a rear drum brake, while suspension includes a telescopic front fork with over 8 inches of travel and a rear monoshock with nearly 7 inches of travel. Dry weight sits around 270 pounds, seat height is just under 32 inches, and fuel is stored in a 2.3-gallon tank. Most riders report fuel economy above 70 miles per gallon, and clean used models typically sell for between $2,500 and $4,000. What sets the XT series apart is not just its capability, it is its independence from complexity. There is no ride-by-wire throttle, no electronic rider aids, and no expensive systems to calibrate. These motorcycles were designed to do one thing: get you through anything and take you back home. From rural South America to the Australian outback and deep into the backwoods of the United States, these bikes are known for surviving the kind of abuse that would send most modern machines straight to the scrapyard. Mechanics appreciate the XT for its straightforward design. The engines are overbuilt, understressed, and simple to maintain. With a reliable carburetor instead of fuel injection, riders can clean or repair their fuel systems on the side of the road using basic tools. Oil changes, valve checks, and chain maintenance are all accessible and quick, making this one of the few motorcycles that still supports real-world, self-reliant ownership. For riders who spend more time off the grid than on it, that simplicity is a blessing. Another major strength of the XT is how approachable it is. The lightweight frame and low seat height make it ideal for riders of all sizes and skill levels. Whether you're just starting out or have years of trail experience, the XT remains easy to handle, forgiving in rough terrain, and surprisingly nimble for its class. The 21-inch front and 18-inch rear wheels allow for solid off-road traction, and the suspension is more than capable of handling logs, ruts, and gravel with ease. And then there's the longevity. It is not uncommon to hear of XT225s and XT250s with over 150,000 miles still running strong on original engines. Many of these bikes are used daily in areas where maintenance shops are rare and replacement parts have to be shipped in from across the world. Yet they continue to perform. Cold starts in the rain, dusty roads in the heat, and daily trips loaded down with cargo. Riders trust these machines with their lives, and the bikes earn that trust mile after mile. Still, for all its backcountry toughness, the XT has a gentle, humble soul. It does not need to shout, it just proves itself. And if you think that level of reliability only comes on dirt bikes, wait until you see the last machine on this list. A quiet road warrior that hides sport bike blood under a commuter's skin. All of these bikes are the real deal when it comes to durability. We've found the most trusted models, so you don't waste your money on bikes that won't last. Like, comment with your thoughts, and make sure you subscribe for more insights into bikes that go the distance. Number 1, Honda CG 125/CB 125. In a world flooded with touchscreen dashboards and overcomplicated electronics, there are still a few machines that prove less really is more. The CG125 and CG125 are two of the most legendary motorcycles ever built, not because of flashy horsepower or aggressive styling, but because they keep going long after others have failed. Both models are powered by an air-cooled, single-cylinder engine displacing 125 cubic centimeters, producing around 11 horsepower and 8 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by a front drum or disc depending on model year and a rear drum, while suspension is provided by traditional telescopic forks in the front and twin shocks in the rear. These bikes weigh approximately 230 pounds, offer a seat height of around 30.5 inches, and deliver over 100 miles per gallon. Used prices in the United States typically range from $900 to $2,000 depending on condition and rarity. The CG and CB are not newcomers. They have been in constant use since the 1970s in some of the world's most rugged and remote regions. In rural South America, they are used to transport everything from livestock feed to school children. In parts of Africa and Asia, they serve as daily taxis, courier bikes, and family vehicles. And the reason is simple. They work day after day, year after year, with minimal fuel, basic maintenance, and roads that would destroy most modern bikes. The CG and CB keep moving. Mechanics appreciate these motorcycles because nearly every component can be serviced with basic hand tools. There are no sensors, no electronics, no fuel injection, and no fragile components. The engines are designed for long service intervals and can often be completely rebuilt in a few hours on a dirt floor with nothing more than a wrench and a screwdriver. Valve adjustments are simple, oil changes take minutes, and parts are available worldwide at low cost. But the real secret to their longevity is the philosophy behind their design. Honda engineered these bikes not for performance, but for survival. The frames are steel, strong enough to carry 2 passengers and cargo. The engines are under-stressed and built to last. There is no fairing to crack, no digital display to fail, and no ride mode to set. It is a motorcycle in its purest form, just enough speed to keep up with traffic, just enough torque to carry a load, and more than enough reliability to never question whether it will start. Even in the United States, where the CG and CB125 were never major players in the showroom, a growing number of riders are starting to recognize their value. These bikes are perfect for learners, commuters, or riders who simply want something honest, lightweight, and economical. Insurance costs are low, fuel bills are practically non-existent, and ownership is refreshingly simple. They are also a favorite among motorcycle instructors in beginner courses because of their low seat height, predictable throttle response, and confidence-inspiring handling. Now you know which bikes outlast the rest without breaking the bank. Like if you've found your next ride, and drop a comment with your top pick. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We've got more bike breakdowns coming your way.